Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the African Frame podcast. This is 7 Up. Now, what is 7 Up? 7 Up is where we look at a franchise that has 7 movies and up, and we kind of track and rate each movie, and we see how the franchise has been doing as a whole overall. I am here with Mr. Extraordinary and Rob Sibeko. Mr. Extraordinary is the owner of the African Frame podcast. They're actually just letting me introduce. I'm technically the third wheel, but I think let's and I'm Buckmeister Cool. Links in the description down below. If you want to follow everybody, you'll find our information there. But I want to hand over to Mr. Robeezy so that we can have a look at the list of the movies that we are checking out tonight. So, Mr. Robeezy, what do we got?
All right, let's do this. It's go time.
So I just want to say a few things before we get into it.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing the DCEU or the DC Extended
No, it's
Universe.
EU.
And
Wasn't it the Entertainment Universe?
no, it was extended.
Oh, okay.
And this was a 10-year project, right? It started in 2013
I
and
believe
ended in
it.
2023. And looking at what Marvel did in 10 years versus what DC did in 10 years, the difference is abysmal. Like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
but Marvel is fumbling. You.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Okay, and then also
That's
Smilo just joined us. So
Oh,
yeah.
what's up, Smilo?
Hey brothers, how you doing?
Good and you, man.
Good, we good. We're just getting
Good,
started now.
good.
Man of Steel.
Okay, so I just want to say something quickly. As I was saying, this only took 10 years to well, it was active for 10 years, this universe. Started in 2013, ended in 2023. And Zack Snyder started with Man of Steel back then. It ended with Aquaman 2, right?
Yeah, in a sense.
It is the 9th highest grossing film franchise and the 5th highest grossing superhero film franchise, having grossed more than 7 billion at the box office. Well, I mean, this is also thanks to Aquaman. Aquaman alone made over a billion, if you guys remember. Made 1.15 billion at the box office, so that helped. And I think you guys are aware that the main characters of this universe were, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Funny enough, Will Smith's
Deadshot, yeah. Made no
Deadshot,
sense.
Harley Quinn, Aquaman, The Flash, Cyborg. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry there, Rob. Can you just add a column for Smilo or change Zuko's name to Smilo?
Oh,
I
and
don't
Black Adam
see.
as well. Sorry. Yeah.
Wait, is Black Adam on this list? Because I have not watched it
I'm
yet.
gonna
So I
add it
should
later.
probably.
No, I was just talking about
Okay.
the main characters of the franchise. You know, kind of like how in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, before what happens now after in Endgame, the main characters were Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, and who's the other one that I'm forgetting? Is it Hulk? Something like that.
No, yeah, I got you. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ah, wait. All right. So, Man of Steel. I believe Rob is first, and then me,
Am
and
I?
then
Okay.
Buck,
Yeah.
and then I guess Smilo. So I'm the second last, and Smilo, you'll go after me.
Oh, just
Cool,
before we
cool.
do that, quickly, my apologies for people who are new, but this is what we do before we get into these things. So, as you guys know, this came out in 2013, directed by Zack Snyder, had a budget of 225 million to 258 million, and it made 670.1 million at the box office.
For Man of Steel, I think this is probably their best movie. I think definitely this is Snyder at his actually I'm gonna say his least Snyder. There's not that many slow-mos. Um, there's actually this documentary style camera zoom zip that he does. That was actually common in that time, like kind of how like in the 90s they used to do that whole, well, bullet time was a thing. There was like this short period where like action movies they used to do the zoom zip thing that documentary sometimes too. So you see a lot of that. Um, Pacing is actually pretty decent, and I do actually like Zack Snyder's creativity in this. Uh, I feel like I might end up being like a Zack Snyder defender for this whole thing. Um, were there things I didn't like? Yes. I think there's a flaw in the second act. I think the setup is actually pretty done fairly well. But I think there's something wrong with the second act in terms of the action. Like you see a lot of reviewers always say it's one giant action scene. And in a way, I want to say yes and no. Yes, it is one giant action scene, especially with the middle action scene that kind of sets up the danger for the where you see the side characters kind of do their fighting. Feels less than necessary. Plot relevant, but less than necessary. It was a distraction from the action scene, so it takes away points from that. The actual, I think
Wait,
Henry
is
Cavill,
the second act Smallville?
basically, yeah, that middle section is Smallville, yeah. Um,
I would argue that's part of the best parts of this movie, but anyway, I'll wait for my turn.
yeah. No, I mean the action scenes are good, but in terms of plot relevance, because I mean, think about it. Without that, right? I feel like we spend too much time on Mrs. Eugenicist, who's like evolution is everything, and it's like Jesus. I felt like, don't get me wrong, visually great, but the actual pacing.
Where does the first act end? Because this thing starts with
See,
Jor-El in Krypton.
see now
So
that's actually an interesting thing to talk about because I think it was my favorite director, David Fincher. He talks about the five-act play and the five-act film concept. And I do think you could break this down into five acts, definitely.
mm,
The Jor-El part, you can consider that to be act one. Then the
or we could say it's the
Clark,
prologue.
yes, you could call it a prologue, definitely. But remember, you still kind of include, but anyway. Then you say uh what you call it, the Clark in hiding, and then that's a cutoff point. And then you could say that the what you call it, when he gets to space, he meets all his people. Well, no, he discovers his history, and then there's like a very short period where you get the where Zod shows up, and it's like one could argue that's a potential break there. It's very tricky. And then but definitely what one could argue that the fight scene itself is, here's how I see it. Act one and act two are actually like pretty close together, and then act three is massive. So it's like act one, act two, which is way too short, and then act three.
So we
And
would
I
say
think
that
that,
Zod's announcement would be the start of Act Two, I'm assuming.
well, yeah, it's a midpoint. Well, that's what it's near the middle of the movie actually, which is very weird.
Okay.
But yeah, you could, logically speaking, in a normal film, I would say that is the start of Act Two, definitely, because that's what kicks off the next part of the movie. Everything is acknowledged now, and now we move on. But I would
Would that
say,
be
yeah,
the inciting incident also?
nah, it's too late for the
No,
inciting incident.
I think the
The
inciting
inciting
incident would
incident
probably
is the
be
spaceship, them
Superman.
finding the
Oh,
spaceship.
when Superman finds the spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's the inciting incident because that sets off the beacon. That sets off the Lois Lane discovering Clark. It sets off all those different
Ah,
things. But
okay.
yeah,
And I think the
and then
Codex is the MacGuffin, right?
yeah, of course,
Oh, yeah.
absolute MacGuffin. But dog, and another thing that cost this thing points for me has got to actually be that the themes are so much more pronounced in this movie than in other movies. The two fathers. Ironically, this is something I wanted to be done in Spider-Man. The bad one, the Tom Holland one, the bad one. Not Homecoming.
Oh, thingy, Far From Home between Nick
Yes,
Fury and
Iron Man. Yes, and Tony Stark. Like you get these two kind of figures. Do you know what I mean? That would have been so flippin' cool.
Did you
Nope,
just
not
say
all the
Iron Man and Tony Stark?
No, man. Okay, Nick Fury and
Nick
Iron Man.
Fury, Iron Man, yeah.
Yes,
Got
that's
you.
what I meant. But that would have been so cool. That wasted potential, but not the point. Anyway, points lost there. In terms of the actual flow, fantastic. In terms of the action itself, fantastic. Performances, fantastic. I'm actually gonna give this one a, because I don't want to take away too many points. I'm going to give it a 8.5. That's what I'm gonna go for. And I feel bad
Okay.
giving it yeah, that's what I'm gonna give it. 8.5. Next.
All right. So
Next.
from my
Next, I'll
side,
give it to you.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. I remember watching it at the theaters at Fourways, like back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I it was a different Superman movie. It was not like any Superman movie I've watched. Remember, I grew up with that whole Dean Cain. I grew up watching
Mm.
Smallville. I was familiar with the Richard Donner movies. I saw Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. So I was really familiar with the Justice League cartoons. So, I mean, really, really familiar with the character. And one thing that really interested me a lot was how it was written. I'm not
Mm.
sure who wrote this. I think David S. Goyer might have been involved somewhere, if I'm not
Uh,
mistaken,
He always is,
it's
yeah.
Goya and Zack Snyder, both of them had shared credit for writing.
for
Yeah,
writing.
Goya
It
and
makes
Snyder.
sense because you can tell that whoever wrote this was really trying very hard not to make it campy, right?
Mm.
They were really, really trying very hard not to make it seem like the Richard Donner movies, even though the introduction of this movie is clearly a Richard Donner introduction. Because if you remember, the Richard Donner Superman that came out in the 70s starts with, General Zod and his team getting being, sentenced to
In
the
the White
Phantom
House, ne?
Zone, right?
Oh, okay, no.
So this
Yes.
Yeah,
also
being
happens, but
sentenced to
obviously.
safety while the planet
Yes.
explodes.
Exactly. Exactly. Why didn't you just put all the Kryptonians in the Phantom Zone? Who knows? But
Yes.
anyway, but anyway, General Zod, Michael Shannon's performance here is truly fascinating. I mean, he's probably the one of the reasons why I love this movie. Like, he was impeccable. He's probably one of the best DCEU villains, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he needed a check. He needed his rent. His rent was due that day.
yeah, no,
He's the best in the DCEU.
yeah,
In the current
Yeah.
DCU with James Gunn, I don't know. We have to see.
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll
I
have
still
to
have
Only.
to
see.
watch the new Superman movie. So
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't understand why they want to make it a tradition to have one of the best actors of all time to play Superman's father. I don't get it. They had Marlon Brando do it back then. Now they have, you know, Russell Crowe become
Kevin
the
Costner,
dad and
yeah.
is all buffed up for what, 5 minutes? And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, I understand that Jor-El is important in this movie, but like, dude,
Mhm.
this whole thing with the codex and this kid is the last kid to be born via natural birth, is not genetically modified or whatever they were trying to say. It felt unnecessary for me, honestly. I didn't understand what the point was in all of that. Especially if you were gonna introduce the Supergirl later on. Are you gonna tell me that
I
that girl
think the
was
idea was is that remember Superman as a Kryptonian, he's supposed to be more special than the other Kryptonians. So I
Mm-hmm.
can see Zack Snyder saying that okay, these ones were made in a lab, but he's like natural, so maybe that kind of gives him an edge
but
in terms of
honestly,
powers
it
and
was never necessary for Superman to be special than all the other Kryptonians. He's the last Kryptonian.
well, he kind of gets treated that way because if you try and put him in a battle threat against like Kara or anything, people always say Superman washes. Anyway,
Mm.
No, I get that. I absolutely get that. But for this movie, I honestly didn't see why it was necessary because if you're gonna make this person the last Kryptonian, there's no need to make him special. Like,
Well,
unless
it's
if there
it's
were
with
like six
names.
other Kryptonians, then that would make sense. But dude, you're the last one. Like, but anyway,
Mm.
I rest my case. Yeah, and then you have Lois, I mean, a very different Lois from the Lois that we know, like completely different. Amy Adams is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but she was very different from the Margot Kidder and the Terry Hatchers of this world. It really works. It was the first time I actually saw Superman actually kick ass in a live action movie because let's be honest, guys, like the Superman that we've been seeing in some of these other projects, it's just punch,
hey, when
punch,
he held the
wrestling.
helicopter in Richard Donner, that was kind of fire.
Yeah,
When he
but it's
held the
not fighting
helicopter with
someone
one hand.
else. You know what I'm saying? He's saving people, yes, but there's no hyper fighting. He's not fight.
Mm.
That was like Dragon Ball Z level fights that I saw there, and I was like, my God. I remember when I watched this, I was like, there's no way Batman is gonna be able to defeat this, like any of these characters. Well, I
And then
spoke
it
too soon
turns
because Dawn of
out.
Justice came. came out
Yep.
of but I don't
But
want to
no,
lie.
man.
The hyper fighting between him and the other Kryptonians,
Yes.
That's one of the best fighting I've ever seen in a movie. I
Yeah,
don't want to lie.
on the big screen, it was amazing.
It
I
was
mean,
truly fascinating.
when you're not overthinking it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
let me not speak too much, otherwise I'm gonna go on forever. But I will give this an 8. I think it's truly one of the best movies in the whole DCEU. It has its flaws, don't get me wrong. We all know the flaws, but I think for what it was, as the first movie of this extended universe, I think it was really good.
All right, so me. Yeah, Man of Steel was an interesting one because again, I'm not the biggest Superman fan. I used to hate him. Now I'm kind of softened on him as a character, and I understand his importance in the comic book landscape. But I think it's just one thing for me is his powers. It's always knocked him down for me. His powers that they can just jump and he can basically do whatever it takes to win in the story. But coming to this movie, um, I think the one of the issues I have with this movie is definitely part of the editing because I don't like the sequencing of events. Because we'll see who Clark is going to be, and then they'll cut back to his childhood in the middle of the movie, and they'll be like, "Well, Clark, who are you going to be?" And it's just like, why didn't you just do that in a chronological order? Because now I know exactly who he's going to be. Like this doesn't really make sense to me, and whatever. Yeah, Henry Cavill is great. I think he's a very fantastic Superman performer. I just think he was in underwhelming movies. That's kind of what hurts him as a Superman because I think he is one of the best Supermen. I actually seen some clips of Dean Cain, and I think he's better than Dean Cain. But you know, I think Dean Cain had stronger writing.
Are we talking about the physical appearance or are we talking about the acting?
Overall,
I'm talking overall, in my opinion.
yeah.
But again, I haven't seen the entire Dean Cain series, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I have to give
Oh,
that
you've
a
never
fair
seen
shake.
Lois and Clark?
I've seen a couple episodes.
I
I
still
haven't seen
think
the
it's
whole
my
thing.
is my favorite Superman, but I think I'm biased because I was a
But
kid.
yeah, that's a rose tinted glasses. I get
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, moving on. Yeah, the action is great in this. I mean, Zack Snyder's always been really good at action, and I'm glad he didn't do slow motion in this. I brought this up that I think the flaws in this though do bug me quite a bit. Like, for example, you're talking about Smallville. I feel like they needed more of the Smallville action sequences near the end because the thing is in Smallville, you can see that he's trying to save people, and I feel like that's very important for a Superman fight scene. Is that Superman knows how powerful he is, and he knows how much damage he can cause, even just flying through a building. So I feel like it's very important to have him, like, you know, trying to mitigate the damage as best he can, even if people are dying. Don't let him be the cause of it. You get what I'm saying? Because now it becomes a problem because that third act, like there's one frame that will forever infuriate me. I don't know whose idea it was when Zod throws a tanker at Superman and Superman floats over it, and I'm just like, why are you oral farming when people are dying?
It was the
Catch
most
the
Piccolo thing
tanker.
ever. No, I agree
Catch
with
the
that.
tank.
It was
Catch
very
it. Like
Piccolo.
stop Zod.
I
And then
think that's
also, I
probably
also hate
one
that
of the
when he
biggest.
went
I
into
think that's
space.
probably one of the biggest issues when you have more than one writer on a project, because certain decisions are probably taken by the writer who probably had carte blanche over certain moments where the other writer couldn't really meddle much. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know, but it's just that was very contradictory. I did not like that. And then also the other thing was is that it also made like I think the third act of this hurts this a lot. One, it goes on for too long, in my opinion. And then two, like him crying over Zod, I kind of was confused because I was like, you look like you wanted to kill him earlier. Like the way you were fighting him, it looked like you wanted him dead already. So why is it when you kill him now you're sad?
it's because it was the last Kryptonian that was available alive at that point. So
No,
he didn't
no,
wanna
no,
he
no,
didn't
But
no.
I
wanna
mean
he
that
didn't
No,
wanna
no, no,
kill
no, no, no.
Zod, but the fact that he killed him means that he lost all connection to his.
yeah, but like here's
No,
the
no,
thing.
no,
He
no, no. I
downed the
felt
ship in the middle of the city with all the Kryptonian heritage.
yes.
And then on top of that, he and also he sent a bunch of them to the Phantom Zone as well. He sent like the whole other team to the Phantom Zone as
Yeah.
well.
He
So
specifically
I think it's
chose the
supposed
chip.
to
Yeah.
be, yeah, like I think it's supposed to be like Superman doesn't want to kill because that's something that he doesn't usually do in the comic books. And in some continuities, he doesn't do it at all. But
Yeah.
it's like this, I think the problem is it's not so much that the killing is the issue. I just, now that I've realized it, I think it's the fact that the way he fights Zod before, he looks like he's banging up to kill Zod. He looks like he's trying to go for kill shots with Zod. And then when
Yeah,
he
but
finally
also,
gets to do it,
yeah,
it's like, why are you sad now? So it's kind
yeah.
of like the writing was uneven.
Yeah, that's a mistake. I actually agree with you because if you think about the whole two fathers thing, none of the two fathers are like killing is bad. None of, in fact, Zod, I mean, sorry, Kal-El kills some people. What's his name? Russell Crowe's
Jor-El.
so
Oh,
dad, Jor-El, there.
Jor-El was bodying people
Yeah, he
definitely.
was
But I
murking it.
oh, and
Yeah.
here's another thing I think that's a problem with this movie is John Kent. I think their depiction of John Kent was just off. His death scene was dumb, and
Mm.
also his messaging to Clark was just bad.
You know
It
what?
was just no,
Now
like it
that
was
I'm
not
older,
good.
I think I understand why he was written that way.
Yeah, I
No,
Get
get
it?
yeah, the theme, I get it. It's
yeah.
Jor-El is the man of action, John Kent
Mhm.
is the quiet Smallville dude or
Mm.
whatever. But I think it's more of a powerful message that the guy who lives in quiet Smallville built his son up to be like the greatest hero ever, where he's just like,
Mm.
stop thinking about football and high school and impressing girls and stuff. Like you're literally one of the strongest beings on the planet. Like use your talents in service of humanity type thing. I think
I don't think
that's
anyone
just
would
very good.
disagree that
But it wouldn't be the right.
the best Park Kent is from Smallville. I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
Yeah, but
Mm.
anyway, my point being is that yeah, I just and look, the way that they wrote him, I just think that they made him too much of a downer. It would be one thing if he's just like you should keep to yourself, you don't know what's out there and all of that stuff, but eventually he accepts that his son is Superman. Because like letting himself die in a tornado doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, long story
Mm.
short, this one for me, it's gonna be a 7. It's gonna be a 7.
Yeah, it's actually pretty high considering this is gonna be harder on it.
No, it's still good, but like
All right,
the issues are still the issues for me.
all right, cool.
Smilo, you're up, dog.
Sure, Jens, it's like y'all took literally the chunks of what made Men of Steel literally the most divisive film for DC. Whereas on my part, okay, first correction, the writing is done by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan. Zack
Ah,
Snyder has no
yes,
story.
yes. I think Nolan was
Zack
also an
Snyder,
executive producer or something, wasn't he?
definitely. I think after his tenure with having run the trilogy of The Dark Knight,
Yes,
obviously at that time,
yes.
also looking at what Marvel was doing, it was a case whereby Warner Bros. Sort of like playing second fiddle and feeling to say, okay, dude, as you can see, the competition on the other side of the fence are over 1 billion in terms of ticket
Mm,
sales, the
Yeah,
popularity. Is there something you could do with the small amount of time we have? And then with Christopher at that time being at his peak, after having released The Dark Knight Rises, it was a case of, okay, who can I scratch in the limited time I have,
mm.
how and where? And obviously, with how things were back then, between what, 2011, 2012, Snyder was the best pick, giving his run with Watchmen.
Yeah, and
Remember Watchmen,
300.
James? One of-
yeah,
Yeah,
And 300. Well, 300 is prior, but Watchmen it was like, what, 2011, you know?
yeah. And it
And
was
Yeah,
with
also
but
a DC
him,
Watchmen
project.
also was kind of divisive as well. And
yeah.
like the
extremely,
thing I think
extremely.
about Snyder is that he can't write the movies. Like I wish he would just, like I think he was still involved in the writing process because there was a thing going around. I don't know how true this is, but they were saying that
Mhm.
Nolan was talked around to the neck snap because I think Nolan was like he doesn't want to do a neck snap for Superman
Mm.
Mm.
or something. I heard some
Extremely,
accounts like
extremely.
that.
No, no, no. It is true. It is true that it took some type of convincing for Nolan to really concede and be like, okay, gents, it's quite a risky move given that the legacy behind Soups has never gotten to that point of a neck snap or
Mm.
even come
Mm.
into battles, be it the comic books, be it the animation or other forms of media. But well, given that David and Snyder at that time and given also the credit for the screenplay that David had written, it made sense and eventually they ran with it. But
Mm.
now coming to my experience as an audience, I was mixed. I remember from having seen it back in 2013, a year fresh in from Marvel, and now superheroes being like the thing, post having seen The Dark Knight, and being mixed. Well, for the cinematography, it's amazing. The editing, amazing. But somehow I felt as if the story was kind of half-hearted, so to speak. It was as if the first two lengths or arcs of the film were complete, but something was missing to now make it an entire arc.
Mm,
Whereby now, for a runtime of like 2 hours, 30 minutes, it's an introduction. It's now us seeing Soups in a modern version.
mm,
With Zack Snyder being this deconstructivist type of guy of breaking a superhero and then molding him according to where the story goes. It quite didn't work for me. I felt in the cinemas, of course, seeing the action, seeing the flair, now having to get accustomed to the lead to say, okay, this is our new Soups as DC. But I kind of wasn't sold in a sense where now, having gotten the 2 hour, 30-minute runtime and having now to share the excitement with fellow audiences, I was like, it's okay.
mm.
It's okay. Okay, how? Action perfect. Story, it's half-hearted. I couldn't root for him in a sense where I understood the why, outside of the MacGuffins and the situation around him dictating where he should go. I didn't, in a sense, think or rather feel for him from a conscious type of level, from an emotional
Mm.
type of level. Everything was forced to him where now he has a choice either to do it or to don't.
So he
And to
was
me,
a
that's like half-hearted.
he was a reactionary character, not necessarily, and you didn't even feel anything for him. Unlike Peter Parker, where you felt every moment for him, with whether his love interest or whether he lost his
Definitely.
uncle. With this version of Superman, you were just watching him, but you didn't feel
It's
anything for
reactionary.
him.
Dad
Yeah.
is saying one thing, at that time, Smallville is saying the other with people who account memories of him younger. And now with the editing as well, I like the point that Meister Geek had alluded to of the editing being non-linear. One point
Mm,
to going forwards, and then suddenly the story cuts, the beat cuts now to now having now to get flashbacks of him as a kid. It's
mm,
half-hearted. It's not a flowy type of thing where we grow alongside him and we get to understand and root the decisions
mm.
rather than it being a reactionary thing. Dude, either you save the humans or you don't. Okay, what is he thinking personally? Also, what are his experiences from a human side of things and now having to adapt as a Kryptonian on Earth? So it's a six for me. It's a six. It was a
Oof,
six back in 2013 and it still remains a six even now.
Jesus.
Yo,
If you're giving
like,
this movie a
bro,
six,
this is
I
a
wonder what
M.
other.
Night Shyamalan plot twist.
I kid you not. I defend DC. I'm a type of guy that look, if you're looking for something quite yin and yang, the yin being the Marvel, the yang being something completely opposite, I'd sell DC to an unsuspecting person looking for something good. But as an entry point to launching a universe, it was half-hearted for me, sadly. It was super half-hearted.
Okay,
I,
cool.
I
All
I
right.
acknowledge and see the people who love it and root for it. I'm like, okay, it's cool. It's a start
Mm.
given where Warner Bros. Was at the time, given where the ex-CEO and executives were looking to see their company, given what was happening with Marvel. But
And I
it's
think
okay.
also they saw how great having a dark character like Batman worked for them. They were expecting the same with Superman, which is something you don't do
Which
with
was such
Superman.
a dumb decision. It
Yeah.
was just, yeah, just a last note on this movie, the color palette. And it's not even that it was a bad one, but it's like, don't make Superman gray.
Mm.
Rather
Desaturate.
have him in bright and red and saturate him against the gray.
Yes.
Guys, we are back. We're doing Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which came out in 2016, still directed by Zack Snyder. We have Ben Affleck now as Bruce Wayne slash Batman. We get a surprise from Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Diana Prince. And I was excited when I got the news that this movie is coming out because we got the actor who played General Swanwick mentioning that this movie is going to come out. I think he did mention this at Comic Con, and he quoted the line from The Dark Knight Rises where Batman tells Superman that I want you to remember at your quietest moments that
Dark Knight Returns.
I'm
Dark
the
Knight
man
Returns.
who, oh, sorry, The Dark Knight Returns, yes, that I'm the man who beat you. So look, it was way too soon. I acknowledged that it was way too soon, but I think we're still excited because of what we saw in Man of Steel, the action and so on. And we just wanted to see Batman again with Superman this time, which is something we had not seen in live action film. So Smilo was just making a point. Will you please just repeat what you just said?
In fact, Devin, I have a bonus one in addition to what I had repeated. My first point being that I doubt that during the premiere or during the theatrical run of Man of Steel that any audience could have noticed amongst the fight between Soups and General, no, and Zod also, that upon sort of like crash landing on one of the satellites, that there's a Wayne sign which sort of like gives light into the universe being a shared one in which Batman exists. I doubt something that audiences could have noticed only at a later stage where now with critics, content creators could be like, wait, is that a W sign? And then only at a later stage where with DVDs and Blu-rays releasing, we're able to now pause, we're able to zoom, we're able now to analyze all the Easter eggs that perhaps could be thrown in for us audiences. So that's quite brilliant for me, coming from an animation side of things with the DCAU, the animated universe, which at that time it was still early also, with them having started with Justice League War. But from that to now theatrical and us being introduced to Man of Steel, which I felt it's quite a half-hearted job. Obviously, it depends on who will feel what and where, but still cool as it is. But as a starter, and now also finding that Batman exists in the same universe, perfect. Also, I have a pointer to add, gents, that apparently Zack had planned to do a sequel to Man of Steel. There were teasers in terms of concepts drawn of them introducing Metallo.
Oh,
Metallo being the human cyborg, and then with him now being sort of like a natural progression of the Man of Steel story. Only until now, one of the execs, after seeing the success of Avengers and how huge that Marvel sort of like raked in with the dollars in terms of ticket sales, that everything was scrapped in terms of the sequel. They felt they needed to inject a bigger buzzword for the audiences, a bigger light into Warner Bros. As a studio, but more so having to get the attention of the Batman audiences also included in the zeitgeist of things. Therefore, leading up to Batman vs Superman.
I don't understand. I'm not qualified, but how do I have better ideas than executives? I don't. This doesn't make what. Anyway,
I don't think
Warner Bros. Warner Brosing.
I don't think executives are interested in law. They're interested in making money.
no, but they
That's
no
it.
make a good movie. Damn it.
I
But
don't know. I
anyway,
don't know if any of you has watched a series called The Studio with Seth Rogen. It basically
I'm
touches
not
on
done
things
with
like
it.
this.
It's definitely, definitely. I
Yeah,
was
when
gonna say
they
something, but
but
I'll
Robo,
contain myself for those that
please,
haven't seen.
Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, Batman v Superman, because it's not even versus, it's V. But Robo,
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
sorry. I was supposed to to give you guys the information before we start. Nah? My
yes,
apologies.
please,
So
information.
this one came out in
did you
March.
not say?
It came out in
No,
March
Okay.
that was
2016.
pre-information.
Ah,
Had a budget of between 250 to 325 million and made 874.4 million at the box office. Yeah, I mean other stuff already mentioned. So yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm basically just gonna talk about both movies at the same time. It'll save time. Um, I think these are basically two very different experiences. If you only watch the main movie, I understand why you make fun of the Dawn of Justice movies. Again, this is why I proved to be some kind of Zack Snyder fanboy, apparently. Because I hate Dawn of Justice. It's badly paced. It's nothing really makes sense. Why are we wasting time with Lois? What's going on? Um, there's so many questions that are all over the place with this movie. I think so many things get sped through only to slow down other things, to be distracted in other things. It's like, why didn't Batman notice this whole situation with this guy? Why didn't XYZ happen? Why didn't this happen? Why didn't this happen? And then you finally get the Dawn of Justice extended cut, and you get a bunch of answers, and suddenly a lot of the story flows a lot better. It's also hit the classic save the cat rules. Um, whatchamacallit, the explosion happens at the midpoint, exact midpoint of the movie, like it's supposed to, according to the flow. Lois Lane's plot point makes a point, because basically what they're doing is they're explaining um Lex Luthor's plot scheme, because everything that happens is basically Lex Luthor's scheme. It's brilliant. Like he'd actually Lex Luthor's plans make a lot more sense. Lex Luthor's goals make a lot more sense.
It was so
The
miscast, by the way.
fuck.
They do?
Well, yeah, they make more sense than you would think. Like for example, the scene with at the beginning of the movie with everyone thinking that Superman killed a bunch of people when we all know they were shot, right? Well, no, in the
Yeah.
extended cut, they show them burning the bodies, so it looks like Superman was it looked like it was Superman who did it. They
Yeah, it was
show
staged.
witnesses that were paid off
Mm,
to lie about Superman. So
yeah.
they show things that to explain why that happened. You know what I
But then
mean?
why didn't they just include that in the final cut? Like, why didn't they just cut
I
to the
don't
burning
know.
bodies?
Oh, because
Quick
the witness.
pointer. Okay, so to interject, gents, on that point, again, the studio had mandated for the cut to be at least similar to Man of Steel, so 2 hour 30.
Mm,
Whereas with the writing credits, given that this time, aside of only David S. Goyer, Nolan had left his tenure with DC, and upon now them having hired Ben Affleck to portray Batman, and also Ben Affleck's having to be at his peak of his career due to Argo a year prior, he had
mm,
also sort of like negotiated with DC to say, look, I can come in and also, portray the character you want, but in return, there's something like, which is now the writer which had helped me with Argo. We at least bring him into the fold and see how we can merge with what he has, the interpretation of Batman, also in accordance with what Zack Snyder has. So this time it's Goya and it's Terrio, so it's two of them.
Chris
Now, in
Chris
relation to the
Terrio.
runtime, yeah, Chris
Okay.
Terrio, yes,
All
sorry.
right.
So
Yeah.
he shares a writing credit with David S. Goya.
Okay.
And now, according to DC at that time, in order for them to at least have longer, not even longer actually, but in order for them to make an extra buck in terms of ticket sales, that mandated for the cut to be shorter, meaning it's more run times in a day than Zack
Yes.
Snyder's actual edition, in which, let's say, with Zack Snyder's cut, 3 hours, maybe you could have
Yeah,
four run times in a full day. Whereas now with the theatrical,
Yeah.
it's at least 5 to 6. So
You're right.
unfortunately, Zack lost the vote
No, I mean
and
I understand. I'm
money
just
being
saying, why
money.
did they go with the shots that they went with? Like it would have made so
Executives.
much sense to show the fire bodies instead of the bullets.
yes.
And
It makes a
Executives.
but yeah, exactly.
Everywhere,
anyway,
brother. So yeah, and also, gents, given that the theatrical cut was rated PG-13, Zack Snyder's
Mhm.
cut is rated R. So money comes first.
doesn't
Let the
fit.
kids watch a
I'm
truncated cut, and then at a later stage, the adults now can wait for the theatrical experience. No, extended
exactly.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
everywhere, brother.
sure.
And I just want to
Oh,
say something quickly to add on. I
good.
was going to say it when it's my turn, but I think I've mentioned this before in the past. If you guys remember, this movie was deliberately released during Easter weekend. I don't know if you guys remember this. And
Mhm.
Very
and
tact.
and
Yeah.
and when you look at the death of Superman in this movie, there's so many Christ imagery. There's so much Christ imagery when that happens. But yeah, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it, I guess, when I get there. But that
Well,
was
yes.
deliberate. That was deliberate, by the way.
Well, yes, that's another thing actually, because they deepen it's not just a picture of Superman just doing this. The picture in Lex Luthor's room, which has a picture of a devil where he goes, the devil comes from the sky, not the thingamajiggy. Lex
Mm,
Luthor sees what you call it as the devil. So when you mix those like unedited, those unseen scenes combined with that, it creates like a little thematic thing. So it's not just, oh, random picture. It's actually there's actual dialogue with actions combined to create one thing that layer over each other.
right.
But clearly, I can see why Ben Affleck must like this guy because there is a lot of layering. There is layering on layering on layering. This is happening because of this happening. This is happening because of that happening. And then when you take a knife and you whooshing to that, of course, it makes a lot less sense. Um, so again, not necessarily saying it's a perfect movie. It is. How do I put this in a way that okay? Um, I fully enjoy this movie. I fully enjoyed the extended cut, but I do think it's too long. I think he was a little bit indulgent. I would say if there were Snyderisms that began, it began now. There's
Mm.
some slow motion that we start to see now. There's definitely some indulgences. Like there's a part where like Wonder Woman's theme song, half of it plays in like full, and you're like, okay, doesn't have to happen. You can cut this in half. Just do dog, dog. I was exhausted. It played in full like 3 times in the same movie. Just it could have been 1 second, 1 second. Like a good example, when they show all the different superheroes, that could have been 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Nope. Each one's gonna be like 30 seconds. Why? That's way too long. That could have been cut down. The Wonder Woman Batman interactives could have been done better. Not just cut, but done better. So that to me, that's a problem. But I'm glad Wonder Woman was there. I think in terms of plot, she makes sense. At least
And why
more sense.
is Batman why is Batman saying, I thought she was with you, if you were with her the
Yes.
entire time? What are you
Dog,
talking
that's
about?
another thing.
No, here's another. Okay, I'll wait for my turn. Oh my God, I'll wait for
Yes,
my turn.
you'll get to your turn, buddy. I know. Also, Lois Lane, is she telepathic? Who told her we need the spear? We need the spear. Leo's like, you know what? I think they need the spear. Who told you? How did you know to do that? And also, why are you stuck underwater? How is this happening? Who told you to chuck it in the water? Anyway, doesn't matter. So there are things that did piss me off about this movie, but I actually do see some effort. This is a long way away from what was it? We made fun of it last year, with the wheat, the movie with the wheat.
I don't know.
Snyder's movie. What's it called again?
The what?
The terrible movie. The last movie.
Rebel Moon. Rebel
There
Moon.
you go. This Zack Snyder is a long way from that one. Like there's actual good Snyderisms. Things make sense here. It is not Rebel Moon.
Oh no. I'll even say this: the theatrical cut of Batman versus Superman, and maybe it's just because it's Batman versus Superman, but yeah, I feel like that's a way better movie than Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's
Look,
holy
I don't
cow.
think he didn't have full carte blanche when he was on
Yes.
the Warner Brothers. I think that's the difference.
It's very George Lucas.
Yeah.
Clearly someone being like cease and desist, you know what I mean, holding him back.
He was micromanaged to a certain extent.
Yes.
Yeah, but then they also chopped the movie too much, I guess, or they picked the wrong shots.
Exactly. So it's like okay, I've got more to say, but it's fine. I'll cut it short. We'll save it for
are you also cutting your own thing about cuts? Are you cutting yourself?
Yes. One day I'll do it.
That's what happens when you're dealing with Snyder, dog. You get cut all over the place. But anyway.
Okay, so I want to say it's overindulgent. But it's also rich and creamy. It's like a fucking cheesecake. At least the first half of the movie. Then something happens in the second half. And again, this is why I actually think Zack Snyder is involved in Wonder Woman's bad ending, because he's got like a writing credit for that, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
He's got a writing.
Correction. With the Wonder Woman film, actually something I'd also mentioned within our group, I think today earlier, the climax of Wonder Woman, it was sort of like another exec type of guide whereby Snyder and Patty Jenkins had an alternate ending, but given someone who was given reins, Mr. Cap, unfortunately Jeff Johns, it was truncated and everything was reshot. So sadly, at that point they are not to blame, but it's Mr. Cap who took the reins and changed everything to make it a PS3 fight now of the gods, as you were.
But not even just that. It's just we'll get to it where the ending seems to undermine itself, but we'll get into it. I do feel like Zack Snyder seems to be very good at first halves. I feel like there's a sex joke there, but I'll leave it out.
Jesus Christ. You only thought of that. We didn't think of that at all. We didn't think of that at all. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's good for 2 pumps, and then the third pump he loses it.
Jets. Sure. Okay. We're going there now. I guess this is an R-rated edition of the podcast.
Oh, welcome, Smilo. You're late.
Oh, my word. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it basically like this. I'm going to say, because of the things missing, I'm going to give it a 5.5 for the theatrical cut, but I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 for the extended cut. Even though, what's the thing? There's a thing Jackie Chan once said where it's like when you screw up in a film, you only get the one shot because you can't go to every single theater and be like, and you try to explain yourself. So you only get the one shot. And I feel like that was a screw up on all of their sides. But I will admit, if I take out all the bias, take out all the stuff, and I just think about this 3-hour movie impassionately, then I like it. I actually think it's pretty cool. But the actual movie, the one that we all were told to pay money to see, I'm not happy with that one. Cool, that's me.
Anyway, okay, so for me, this movie, Ben Affleck carries this movie on his back. Like, it's a Batman movie where he's investigating Superman, where he's becoming a detective investigating the events that happened prior, which is the previous film. Um, we mentioned something quite interesting when we were talking about Man of Steel. Someone actually made me think about something I've never thought about before. Why didn't Bruce Wayne react when Zod made the announcement to the whole world? Why is he reacting to the damage that's made
With
to
the
the
fight,
city
yeah.
instead of
Mhm.
reacting to an alien making an announcement to the whole world? That doesn't make sense to me, Zack Snyder. Why didn't you make this guy actually start thinking about a contingency plan from the announcement,
From the
not him
get-go.
reacting to the damage of a city? It doesn't make sense to me. Was he off world? What happened? Anyway, for me, physical appearance, this is probably the most comic book accurate Batman that you can ever find. He was really good. Like, he really looked great. I don't want to lie. And I think, seeing him, like everything, the entire law, when you see the Batcave, you see Alfred, you see him going on events and all of that, investigating, checking out Lex Luthor, being interviewed by Clark Kent. There's something there, man, about the performance of Ben Affleck. It was just impeccable. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people were chuffed when they saw it. She was still too skinny for my liking, but it worked. She was badass in this movie. Uh, Making Doomsday a Zod. I don't know, man. Like, sort of like a.
A buff ass ugly Ninja Turtle. But
I
anyway.
mean, well, Doomsday is always ugly, but the fact that he's a transformed version of a corpse from Zod for me just didn't work.
No,
But I
no, no,
saw
no.
how it also linked with the Mala boxes and all in the extended cut because they showed that
Mhm.
part, which is the part they didn't show, I think, in the theater
Theatrical,
cut.
definitely.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I remember when Lex Luthor was connecting the dots and all of that when he was looking at the corpse of Zod. So that's the thing that I guess we missed. But also, let me put it like this: when I heard that Jesse Eisenberg was cast as Lex Luthor, I was actually excited because I thought that Zack Snyder was gonna play off
Social network.
that whole
Everybody
Mark
was running
Zuckerberg thing
social
that
network.
Jesse Eisenberg did in the Social Network. I thought he was gonna use this whole new age billionaire tech genius guy as Lex Luthor, if that makes sense. Like the young
Yeah.
guy who has so much power in the world and is smart enough to outsmart a powerful god and the world's greatest detective. But unfortunately, I think he just said, Jesse, do none of that. Just
Be the Riddler. He
be
said,
the
be the,
Riddler.
be the Riddler. Yeah.
No, I think he said be the Joker.
Interesting.
Either way, it didn't work. It didn't work. And I just didn't understand the significance of the mayor, to be honest. I just think that her arc just didn't make any sense to me. Like, it was so useless. Usually, when
To
you
set up
add
character.
mayors in movies, especially DC movies, the mayors have a very integral role to play, whether it's the Dark
Hmm.
Knight or even the Batman. But when you look at something like this, I'm like, the mayor didn't really have any significance. Like, usually these people really need to be a thorn in the flesh of one of the characters. She was she was not anybody's thorn. She was just a puppet, a pawn that Lex
Well,
used, to frame
well,
Superman.
I
But
mean,
I don't know. Do you want to say something, Rob? Please share your
okay,
mind.
number one. Okay, sorry, man. I just want to make a slight thing. It's just senator. Hence a
Oh,
Senate hearing.
Senator. Oh, Senator.
A mayor
That's
can't have
even
a hearing.
But
worse.
here's the thing, right?
That's even
Here's the
worse.
thing. The way that they tried to play it, and okay, no, actually I'm next, so I'll just say it on my turn. Finish up, Mr. X. Sorry.
Okay. I was just gonna say one other thing. to be fair, she's supposed to be a thorn in Lex Luthor's side, but then he smuggles it anyway. So I can understand your point that she is kind of pointless because she
Oh well,
smuggles
that's
the
what I was. That's what I
anyway.
was gonna say. I was like, he
Yeah.
committed like tons of crimes. I don't know why he wanted to try and get a senator to
To
approve
like
his stuff anyway.
thingamajiggy, and then yeah, and then
And
but
then
to get
on top of that, another thing is she's supposed to be like the way they tried to position her. They wanted to make her Switzerland essentially.
They
well,
wanted to
yeah,
It's
make a
like
what?
I'm not on Superman's side. I'm not on Lex Luthor's side. I'm supposed to be on America's side. So that's
basically,
why she doesn't give Superman any leniency, but she also doesn't buy into Lex Luthor's conspiracies about Superman.
yeah.
But they didn't have
I
enough
also
time for it, or
It just
like
didn't work.
Lex Luthor already went around her anyway, so she was useless.
That's what.
yeah,
That's
I
my
mean
point. My point
yes.
is Lex would have done whatever he needed to do anyway, regardless.
Either way.
That's Lex.
Well,
That's who Lex is. You know what I mean?
without the explosion anyway. Without the explosion.
Yes. But anyway,
Mhm. Actually, want to make one funny fact? Is it me or is she technically the smartest person in the DCEU? Because in the space of 1 second, she looked at the cup of piss, she looked at Thingamajiggy and was like, I know exactly what's going on. There's a bomb in that wheelchair. And she like looked
Why
at
didn't she just? I thought I would like.
When he's
Why did she
pissed.
like scream at Superman like, "Hey, dude, jump on top of the bomb or something"?
how did you put one and one together? Like
oh,
read
but
the
I mean,
audio.
despite
One and one
that, doesn't Superman have supersonic hearing? Couldn't you
Ap-
hear?
Apparently,
No,
with the
I'll wait
character.
for my
Okay.
turn because that's a big problem for me. And if
Well,
that's
no,
Well,
even in the extended
in the
cut, that's a
extended
big
cut, they
problem.
explain it that it's in lead.
it's
That's
in
in lead.
lead, yes. So you
Yes.
can't see lead naturally. And
Yes.
with
No,
something
but you can
that
still hear
Lex
stuff.
You
You
has,
can
can
still
still hear
hear,
through
though.
lead.
Like a
well,
ticking
lead
bomb.
apparently within the DC universe, unfortunately, even blocks out the sound, surprisingly. So,
What?
What did you guys
Okay.
pick the ticking
Anyway,
time?
I'll wait for my turn.
But
I'll
anyway,
wait for
yeah.
my turn.
Anyway,
Sorry.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so the casting of not really even the casting. The warehouse scene was great, but I felt like, honestly speaking, Superman could have done that in 2 minutes. He could have saved his own mom like way quicker actually than Batman. Because honestly, you know what I mean? Just put the kryptonite far from Superman and then allow him to quickly go and gain his energy from the sun, come back and save his mom. But anyway, that's what I think. But it was a better scene anyway. The warehouse scene was impeccable. We saw, I think it's probably the best Batman action sequence in all of live action, in my opinion. It's amazing. The way he moves and everything is great. He can bend his neck. You know what I mean? He can tilt his head and all of that, which
Yes, yes,
is
yes.
something that they've been struggling with for the longest time.
dude.
So for the theatrical cut, I'm gonna give it a 7. The
Alrighty.
extended doesn't really do much for me. I'll give it a 7.5.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
But
Interesting.
killing Jimmy Olsen was a horrible idea. I don't. It
No,
never
that
worked.
was Zack Snyder telling you to go F yourself. That was a
Yeah,
little thing.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
that was Zack Snyder saying that this guy, all he does is be Superman's friend. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, look, this movie for me, already from jump, I was already confused. I was one of the people screaming that this is a bad idea. Do not do this now. It doesn't make sense. You just started with the Superman movie, and your Superman movie was also divisive. Like, you still need people to like this Superman. Like, I feel like Henry Cavill's profile and him as a person kind of elevated this Superman instead of the Superman itself, if people understand what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like because he was such a personable person and, also because he's so handsome and all of that stuff, I think that's what elevated it
I
and
think
not
you're
the
right.
writing.
I think he got the anti-Marvel treatment where Robert Downey is Iron Man and people see him as Iron Man than Robert Downey. But with Henry Cavill, it's like, no, we see you as Henry, then we see you as Superman, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
that's why I was like, this was a bad idea. And another thing that hurts this movie a lot is that they make both of them depressed. And I'm like, that doesn't work. The whole point of Batman and Superman is they're supposed to be juxtaposed in their methods and in their demeanor.
And Henry
Like I
Cavill
was reading,
has
I was reading Batman.
less
I was reading a
lines.
Batman versus Superman. I was reading a Batman versus Superman comic, and obviously Superman can solve all of the stuff, right? You just have to kind of put that out of your mind, which is always hard for me. But anyway, the thing is that the way they move and the way that they fight or whatever, even if you look at certain fight scenes, Superman is always taking big swings to hit things, whereas Batman is flipping all over the place because that's supposed to be the juxtaposition between these two characters. Where Superman is all loud and boisterous and he's all full of hope. Batman is gritty and dark and in the shadows. And they don't get that right here. It's like,
If I may, sorry to interject, gentlemen. I think I'm going to be this information type of guy regarding DC. With what Zack had planned with Bat, apparently the law around him is he spent what 20, 30 years trying to protect Gotham. And as you know, with Gotham being as dirty and grimy as it is, having birthed the likes of Joker, and now with him in a sense losing hope, whereby with a specific scene in Batman vs Superman of Robin and seeing now the spray can sort of like the tat on the suit saying haha jokes on you, he's crushed, he's demoralized, and he's at a point where he's lost all hope, or rather he just sees everything grim and dark after having sort of like fought for over 20 years trying to save people, but still not seeing a form of change. Where now, with an alien being sort of like a super being in which he can't even match in terms of strength, it's a sense of him having to go out of his way in doing the sort of like undignifiable, marking villains, punching people, even coming to a point of killing certain people, and with a certain scene of the car, with him having to track a certain MacGuffin in which Lex is moving from one location to the other, and now you're seeing the Batmobile shooting everyone and everyone. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
take
I
that
but
like.
as
here's what
you
I'm
will.
saying though. Well, I mean, first off and foremost, just as a Batman fan, I have an inherent problem with that, and I'll explain that just now. But I'm saying that Superman is also depressed. Superman is also sad. Superman is also mopey during
He's
this
not bright
entire
at all.
movie.
Yeah.
And it's just like that doesn't help now. There's no contrast. Like, what is the difference between Batman and Superman besides their powers and movesets? It's like that
Well,
It's
doesn't
not a
work.
one
light versus dark
snapped
thing.
Zod, and for sure. But given that with Superman's arc, okay, no, continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
no. I was gonna just defend because like thing is for me, like, never mind. Actually, no, carry on now, dude. I'm
Okay,
good.
no, what I'm trying to
Okay.
say here is that we like the thing is you're still needing to we already ended Man of Steel on a sour note, right?
Mhm.
Technically. The idea is that he's supposed to now be the dude who's like, I have to embody hope and all of these things. Also, Martha Kent also gives him the same speech where I'm like, this doesn't work now. Like, you guys need to quit this speech. Be whatever they want, Clark, or don't be any of it at all. What. It's like, no, they came for you. Zod came here because you're here. Like, you have to do it now. Stop this half and half. um, Batman here looks visually good, but he's probably the worst Batman in terms of operations, in my opinion. I feel like they made him so incompetent in this film because one, he should have clocked Lex Luthor from jump, in my opinion. Two, why did you make a spear? That's like one of the most easiest weapons to lose, and it's probably the only one that's effective against Superman like that. You made a bunch of projectiles. Why? Also, no planning or anything for the strategy. Like, you're so lucky you didn't end up on the other side of Africa fighting Superman, that you could still be near that spear or whatever. Doomsday is horrible. I don't know what they can add in that extended cut to explain Doomsday because that just sucked hard. It did not make any sense. And also, Superman killing Doomsday and dying in the process. Dumb. It was just dumb. And then also,
Death of
like,
Superman reference. Mhm.
another thing that annoyed me is that I don't understand why Lex is trying to galvanize Batman when he has access to metahumans.
Mm.
It was just like, if you know that there's other people with powers, maybe you want to take a stab at getting them to try and fight
Get it the
Superman before you
Flash or
take the
something.
regular guy.
Right. Or
Regular guy,
Cyborg.
quote unquote.
Mm.
I just, and also it was just like you have a problem with Superman, but you know people who can move at the speed of light. You know people who are the king of the ocean. Like they should just be as dangerous to you as Superman, but like you have this specific thing against Superman that didn't sit well with me.
I think also if the entire media was manipulated by Lex, like if Lex Corp owned a lot of media outlets that were painting Superman in a bad light after the events of Men of Steel, it would have made sense why Superman was not a happy-go-lucky character. You know what I'm
But
saying?
he didn't do that.
I'm
No,
not
but
even
everybody,
asking for like
but
happy. I'm
people were
not
looking
asking
at
for like
him like
happy
a
go
god.
lucky.
People were like worshiping this guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then
but I'm not
you
even.
see Lex's plan to shut that down. I mean, we can't keep doing that thing of the media is paid for, so here's $50 and
Therefore,
more people lied.
Yeah, no, but I
Need
mean,
to
I'm not
see
even talking
some.
about that in particular. But I'm just saying, I think the thing is right. Is that part of the thing that's supposed to make Superman Superman is that like even when things are bad, he's supposed to be the not the shining example. He didn't need to be the shining example, but there was never a moment in the movie where he was like, I'm Superman, like I'm the shield, I'm the hope, and all of those things. That never came.
It's Superman
And I
year
was
one.
just,
I think that you have to think of
yeah,
it
but
like,
I mean, a year one, they're throwing Zod and Doomsday. What? What the hell?
Warner Bros. Execs, buddy. Warner Bros. Execs.
Yeah. No, I mean, but anyway, I'm just saying, like this again. I that didn't sit well with me. Also the fight at the end. What's this? Where Batman says, "I gotta get it to chase me." No, you don't. Wonder Woman's inclusion for me was kind of random as hell. I did like it. Kind of felt like they're trying to rush the setup of the Justice League and the
Yeah, it was
Trinity.
they
forced.
were.
Uh,
It was
They were
forced.
absolutely.
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Wasn't a fan of that.
Like
Yeah,
like
like
Diana as a character. What was Diana as a character doing in Gotham? Like what was she doing there? You know?
Nothing.
Look
Nothing is
for a
explained.
photo. To go look for a photo.
No, apparently she
yeah.
was looking for some spear. No, was it a spear or a sword by the museum
No,
where now she
no, no.
met Ben Affleck there, and then with
Yeah.
him saying, "You do know that what you're looking at is fake. The real one is sold in the black market," and I guess that was it.
No,
That
no,
was
Oh
what
it.
yeah.
happened was, okay, no, they met first of all, number one, looking for the photo. The first meeting was to look for the photo. And then they stole the data from Bruce Wayne. And then the second meeting was Bruce Wayne finding her because she'd been called over by some other guy, some other researcher to go look for. Now, the good question is, was the researcher fake? Or was it or did Bruce Wayne just know how to find her? So it was like a second meeting point. That wasn't Wonder Woman in control. That was
Okay.
Batman coming to her. Yeah, and
Which makes the line "I thought she was with you" so freaking stupid.
yeah, that's a nonsense line. I'll admit, unless they mean she thinks that she was a Kryptonian, which also makes no sense because why are you trying to kill her? But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, but yeah,
yeah. Yeah. The fight between Batman and Superman, I think it's not a good one.
Yeah,
I just think
I
there's too
agree.
many points of contrivances in that fight. Superman can tell Batman whenever that my mom is in danger. I mean, first off, like Kem said, he can go find his mom because he heard Lois Lane in Africa. And I'm like, you can't,
only
like, that's one thing that I always hate about Superman powers is that he'll actively forget how to use them. Like, if you can do that, you can find Martha. If you can do that, you can stop an explosion in a building or whatever. Like that's crazy to me that he can listen across countries and find exactly the heartbeat that he's looking for and go save that heartbeat specifically. That's no. Yeah, they burned through a bunch of material as well. Oh my god, they burned like we see parademons and
Oh,
yeah.
the
Flash
Nightman.
traveling through
It was doing a lot of
time
heavy
and
lifting. Yeah.
oh my god.
But to be
She's
fair, the
she's
fast
the
traveling through
key.
time wasn't random. It was actually supposed to be there because that's what convinces. Because the Flash accidentally convinces Bruce Wayne. Because the Flash says, "Oh, you were right the whole time," but ironically he says, "Oh, I'm too early." But he was like, "You were
Yeah.
right the whole time," and it
Mm.
screws up Bruce Wayne's entire thinking. So
But
it's not.
he's Batman. Like Batman should be a better critical thinker than that.
No, but despite that, why make
comics are
why make it a dream? Because is that supposed to be real or not? Why not actually
No,
show the
also
Flash
it's
coming
too
in the
much
future,
stuff.
coming in
It's
from the
it's just
future?
it's so much stuff. Like I don't know if this is executives, but I'm like, how much freaking stuff is in this movie? Like the like already making Batman 20 years into his career, poor choice to me. Poor choice because you're just starting this universe. Making Batman a killer. Very, very stupid. Because now there can't be any criminals in Gotham. There's no rogues gallery. They can't exist. It can't happen. It's insane to me that Lex survives the end of this film. I'm sorry. It's insane. Because it's like you were fine with mowing down niggas in the streets.
Yeah, because Batman wanted to brand them like a cow.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think the idea, the theme is there, is that Batman has been killing. So like Superman chooses to kill in the first one, whereas Batman has been killing and then chooses not to kill. I think that's the theme. So after that hit off point, he then stops killing.
Yeah,
I
but that
think
makes Batman a
But you
hypocrite,
can't
though.
walk that back, Rob.
That makes Batman a
You can't.
hypocrite, though.
You
Nigga,
can't.
you've been killing. Nigga, you've
No, but
been
like
killing for 20
no, but I'm
years.
saying but Extraordin, it's still worse because now how are we supposed to go to a Batman film and Joker makes it at the end of the film, or Scarecrow, or Bane,
it
or
never
any
happened.
of them?
Wait, it never.
No,
Yeah.
because we're about to get to Suicide Squad, and if you remember that film, same Batman didn't kill none of the villains. I'm just like, this is the symptom of where the hero gets to kill all the henchmen, and then the super villain who was the cause of all the shit survives at the end. And it's just like, what? Anyway, I've been talking a lot. This one is gonna be a 5. Ugh.
Nah, dude,
Oh,
after
and
all that, anything above a 3 is ridiculous. After all
okay,
that,
fine. Actually, yeah, fine. Actually, I'll give it. No. I like Batman. I like Ben Affleck's performance. I'll give it a 4. Sorry.
Okay.
Yo,
So you like
Rotten
you
Tomato.
like Affleck's performance despite the decisions that the character makes. I get you.
Yes. Yeah.
By the way, I
Oh.
still think that's one of the best Batman intros of all time. I'll 10
Oh
toes down.
man,
When they
100%.
grab the
Oof.
prison cell and then close it themselves, I was like,
100%. He was scary, dog.
dog. But anyway, yeah, okay, let's on to the next one.
Yo, gents, I'm gonna split this one into two. Theatrical. Yeah, from Man of Steel to this, and now seeing Batman story sold. However, theatrical, for the entirety of the plot, certain plot points didn't make sense. I think with the theatrical cut, the first part of Lois being in Africa, certain scenes were cut. The lady that went into the Senate blaming Superman, it was cut. And other parts as well. Whereas now I'm left with more questions rather than answers to say, wait, why did this happen and it led here? What about this part? So now it's a case of, okay, I'm being introduced to a new universe that has Batman, but certain plot points aren't making any sense. Already, that's a dud. It's like you're building something, you want to feed your audiences, you want to make your audiences care. I care at the concept, however, it doesn't make sense. Theatrical. Now it's a case of me having to nerd out, go back home, buy data, scroll the living daylights out of Google to ask myself, wait, why did this happen? Execs. As an audience, singena aphi? You're selling us a product and yet you're giving us a half-hearted material after also having been mixed on Man of Steel, and then I'm going into this and I have more questions rather than answers. Nope. Nope.
Doesn't
It's a
work.
no.
No,
Fine. I'm turning that part of the brain off. I'm watching the film as it is. Great concepts, certain ideas which now they're also borrowing to certain comics, and also with the anime, having touched a few plot points, I could be like, okay, I can see where this is going. I can see where this is going. Now having to check with the friend beside me, yo, what do you think? Who's Flash? Why is he coming here? Who's this? Who's that? Ooh. So now it becomes a a general fan who has no flipping idea at certain plot points what's happening,
Ush.
and myself as an enthusiast. It's mixed. Who
Mm.
else can I have a conversation of us now being excited at Justice League without them now asking more questions rather than answers? So yeah, with that said, it's a six.
All right.
It's a theatrical, it's a six.
Fair enough.
Now the extended cut. 6 months later, now I'm that guy now that gets on the net, that reads your Screen Junkies, that
Yeah.
Googles more than a normal person should, because now I'm a fan of DC. I'm excited at the concept that Zack Snyder is willing to explore. The extended cut is announced, it's out. We're the first ones to now download it, and then, okay, finally watching a wholesome film. Okay, it's bloated. So many ideas, which kind of felt as if the film needed another sequel for now certain characters to have their arcs fully realized. Certain
Mm.
characters that are introduced in a teaser format for another film, there's me being like, okay, this isn't sort of like a fully fledged meat. It seems another haphazard mix of ideas, and then let's catch a shot to this now leading to something else. No. Sell us what you want to give us as is, not as a plot point for something else coming in future.
At least they
So
gave
I
us
become
they gave
mixed.
us some meat with Lois's journalism about the bullet, though. If you guys remember, we had more
Yes.
content about
Yeah, but
that.
wasn't like branded it with Lex's name on it or something? I was like,
The
the name
metal
is
is
on
from
the
Lex
bullet.
Corp. Yes. Yeah.
Next scope, definitely.
Yeah.
Which again, bear in mind, we had to wait for the extended cut for that
Yes.
arc to make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
you see now,
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, no,
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 I was
no.
just saying things added to Lex Luthor. That's kind of the idea of it turns out that Lex Luthor is a lot smarter in the extended cut than he is in the theatrical cut because of stuff like this. But anyway, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
No, 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 definitely. So now we see the position as fans of DC we're in. The
Mm.
product which the general populace is going to watch is a half-cut thing because of studio politics, and what the vision initially was said to be. It's something we're going to have to wait 6 to 7 months later. I'm now being split to say, okay, I'm a fan of Zack, I'm a fan of all these concepts, I'm a fan of even the writers to give us such a multi-dimensional story in which everything leads to another point where now the characters are not only now sort of like people dragged in the story. You have now an arc of where everything starts and leads. Perfect. But now for 3 hours, 6 months later of a cut, we have to wait as audiences and as fan of DC. I'm like, okay, is it any different to what the theatrical added? Partly so, given that the story can flow from start to finish.
Mm.
But in terms of the overall enjoyment, is it something could be like, okay, is it something can now to fans, let's say your Avengers type dude, watch Batman vs Superman. Ah, it sucked. No, the extended cut. Wait, there's another cut again. It now puts me in a split decision. Where
Mm.
now theatrical it's a six, extended it's a seven, and that's
Mm.
that.
I mean, it was still pure garbage. Even if those they connected those dots, it was still horrible.
Studio politics, which
Yeah.
Tina again as audience is seeing
It's not our
happy.
problem. Yeah. It's not our problem.
Dude,
It's
dude,
not
now
our
I have
problem.
to
No, but
be a
also like you want
Google.
to scream at these execs. Like Marvel and Star Wars are also having this problem. You want to scream at these execs. Like you understand that the only reason this thing exists is because of the material that came before. Just
Mm.
use
Yeah.
it.
And ironically,
Use
the
Literally.
more
it.
you yeah, the more
It's
you know
literally
about
there for you.
exactly, the more you know about the source material, the less you like Zack Snyder's cut. It's very funny, but when it comes to that, but what can you say?
Yeah, but
Guys,
no, but I'm also saying like the execs themselves, like these ideas that they have or these ideas that they cram into the films, already it just breaks everything and makes it worse. Like
Mm.
I'll tell you right now, whether it was Zack's idea or not, and obviously I think Batman versus Superman is such an executive reaction to Avengers. It's just
yeah.
like Superman is way more popular than any of the Avengers. Just make a Superman movie. Like you guys seem to forget that you were running the game as DC for a very long time.
Dude,
Yeah.
No one was
I
gonna
keep
just
saying
give
that
up on Superman.
Batman came out, The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, made over 1 billion. The same
Mhm.
year Avengers
Billion,
came
three,
out.
four, I think. Yes, sir.
The same
Definitely.
year Avengers came out and made over 1 billion.
Yeah.
One
Well,
character,
anyway,
was
Mhm.
able to carry.
Now let's get to a movie that's somehow even worse. Suicide Squad.
Well,
Before we
actually,
get there,
that
before
is.
Jen, sorry to even cut you off. Remember, we now
Mhm.
have a new character introduced with Wonder Woman. So now there's
Mhm.
another intellectual property which DC is soon to first make bank on. But before making the bank on, they first have to sell the product.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I give Zack his flowers in managing to interweave different characters and finding a way amongst the executive drama for him
For
to say,
doing his
okay,
best.
look, we're given this short amount of time to create the universe leading up to Justice League. Do you have
Mm.
time to complain? No. We have a budget and we have fans. Let's ride with it. For that,
Mm.
I applaud Zack. However, was it done properly in a sense which it is cohesive and it gives each character sort of like a growth within the story arc of DC? No.
Yeah, no, 100%, man.
Mm.
Guys, before we start the next one, it's already 10 o'clock. Do you want us just to do at least one more, or what do you guys
I
think?
think we can end on Suicide Squad.
I,
Uh,
I, I second that. I think now
Mm.
the
you
entire
guys good?
runtime of this is close to an hour or hour
Yeah,
30, 25, yeah?
yeah, it's not
Okay.
that long a movie. I mean, I don't think we have all have that many compliments for this movie,
Okay.
but we'll get there.
All right.
We have to
DC.
do your rundown, bro.
All right. So this one came out in 2016. Funny enough, as well. First anti-hero supervillain team that's introduced, which is a waste because we're still getting to know the heroes, but you're introducing us to a lot of superheroes. I mean, supervillains. Jared Leto as the Joker. People were ecstatic. I don't know why. I was never really sold on that, but that's a story for another day. Cast includes Will Smith, as I've mentioned, Jared Leto, Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Viola Davis, Jay Courtney, Jay Hernandez, to name a few. Scott Eastwood is also here. Cara Delevingne is also here. It made so remember, Batman v Superman came out in March. This one came out in August, and it has a runtime of 123 minutes. Had a budget of 175 million and made 749.2 million at the box office.
Wait, how much
Directed
was the
by
budget?
David. 175.
175.
I'm assuming half of that was Will Smith's paycheck, but okay, yeah.
And Viola Davis.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yep, that's it. Oh, by the
Oh,
way, this movie
oh,
won an Academy Award, which is something that
For best
yes.
makeup.
Marvel,
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
Marvel hadn't done yet. But yeah, the won an Academy
not
Award
for
for
story.
no, for makeup and hairstyling.
Wow, dude.
Imagine that.
But
Turns out that
I think it also catapulted Margot Robbie's career. Yes, she was great in Wolf of Wall Street, but after this
Oh,
performance, people are like,
oh
okay,
yeah,
this woman is a superstar.
because Margot Robbie is that ironically that Will Smith and Brad Pitt type. Even though I argue Brad
yes.
Pitt can actually act, but it's one of those where they play themselves and it's fantastic. And it's like, hey, do you want to play something else? No, we want you to play yourself again, but in this movie now. And Robbie, when she plays Margot Robbie, wonderful. And yeah, she kills it here.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway, Suicide Squad. Like I just said, Margot Robbie does a great job, despite the fact that the plot probably
Oh
shouldn't have
gosh.
her. And oh God, because you know me, I always look at these things from the perspective of a writer. And if you think about Margot Robbie's actual portrayal within the storyline, as opposed to if you look at Margot Robbie's actual skills, former psychiatrist, seems to have a strange immunity to pain due to insanity, connection to the
uh,
Joker.
Harley Quinn,
All
yeah.
these, yeah, all these things are probably the most useful things about Margot Robbie. They're not in this movie. They're not in this movie. It's
Mm.
just, it's none of that. It's just her kind of like faffing around, being funny, because Margot Robbie is funny. And then the Joker show, depending on what cut you watch, the Joker shows up either for 2 seconds or for 2 minutes, depending on the cut you watch.
Mhm.
Um,
Wait, is there a legitimate Ayer cut out there?
No, sir. It's been an ongoing debate, so much so that
yeah.
even us fans on X, or rather Twitter when it was called, we're
Mhm.
kind of asking him, dude, what's happening? We know that obviously the cut
Yeah.
that we saw was botched multiple
Oh yeah,
times.
Yes.
I remember
And
he
it was a
released a
case of saying,
statement.
look, the state of DC as it is, we're accepting new tenure, we're accepting new leadership, and in celebration of that, without tarnishing anyone, let's rather allow for the new execs to do what
Mhm.
they do, and then when they find the time, give us a platform. And we've been
Yeah.
waiting for like 3 years and counting, and
That
nothing has patched.
exactly. That before or after they slit Batwoman's neck. They just went to Batwoman. Before or after the executive
You mean
changes.
Batgirl? Yeah.
Yeah, Batgirl, sorry.
And
No, it was
um
Batwoman.
and
You're talking
what
about the
was
live
this
TV show.
Coyote versus
Oh,
Acme movie as well?
the
Oh,
movie
no, you're
that
talking
got
about
cancelled.
Batgirl. No, Batgirl
Yeah,
came way
Batgirl.
after that. Batgirl came way
Yeah,
after
after
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, disaster for days. Anyway, I think the reason people are excited about Jared Leto is because Jared Leto is an Oscar-winning actor. Jack
Mhm.
Nicholson is an Oscar. I believe Jack Nicholson has Oscars as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course,
he used to win extra Academy Awards for every decade, just like Michael Caine.
exactly.
Definitely.
And also the other Joker as well. His one was, of course, posthumous. Posthumous.
Posthumous.
Posthumous, yeah.
Posthumous.
Posthumously. But he also got an Oscar, so there's a lot of Oscars. You know what I mean?
A-listers. A-listers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Winning a joke, getting a Joker is like winning a prize. I mean, hell, even the new Joker got an Oscar. So I think that was the excitement of, okay, we're about to get a high quality actor, only for him to play to play an indie. What?
What was he doing?
Mm.
No, you know what
Execs.
it is? You know what it is? No, I don't think it's just execs, Milo. I think the other thing is that I don't know if it's writing wise or if I don't know if it was Jared Leto himself, but he kept on modding the Joker, if you get what I'm saying. Like they just kept adding stuff on, and it was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Mhm.
I don't need the damage on the forehead. I don't
Yeah.
need the ha 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 tattoos. I don't need the smiley face on his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
And
I think,
also, the movie doesn't have space for him anyway. Like
yes, literally.
Apparently,
Literally.
most of his scenes were cut.
Yeah. They were
yeah,
because
but I'm
it's
saying that why did they cast him? Why did they add him? Like you didn't need this.
I think their plan was to, because remember the extended cut of the Justice League, there's a shot with the Joker, so I think he's
Mhm.
got a bigger role in the future. So they probably said, hey man, just like with Ben Affleck, yo, Ben Affleck, we're gonna give you a Batman movie, you're gonna direct it, it's gonna be great. Hey, Jared Leto, we're gonna give you a bunch of leading roles. We're lying,
Exactly.
but anyway,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
okay,
Sorry, Rob.
the
Please.
only decent, the only decent scene is him getting his ass kicked by Batman and
yeah.
saved by Batman.
Mhm. But
So,
let me do my review before it ends up being half past. Okay. Um, I think there was maybe Will Smith playing Will Smith was good. Margot Robbie
mm,
playing Margot Robbie was good. Okay, not great, but let me put it like this: it's acceptable. Um, I think everyone's role should have lasted as long as Slipknot's role lasted. Um,
yeah, get the Native American to die first.
Oh,
By
dude.
getting his head exploded.
Yeah,
Bro.
that was
By a
so
black
bad.
woman.
The optics in this were a mess, gents. Oh,
The
TC.
fact that they did two intro scenes, guys. We're gonna explain what the Suicide Squads are. Cool. Next scene, guys. I'm explaining what the Suicide Squad is. What the hell was that? As a writer, I'm disgusted. I think there was only one remotely decent scene, and that's the part where they're all chilling in the bar. Because it turns out guys talking can
No,
be.
but like that. Then also Will Smith has that ham-fisted ass line. They crowbarred that shit in. So what? We
We're
some
to get a
Suicide
Suicide
Squad,
Squad.
huh?
Yes.
God damn it!
You think it's as bad as this is Katana. It's so
Oh, that
Oh,
line. The minute I saw it in honest trailers, I knew, you know what, DC? Whatever y'all are cooking, it's just not working. Like,
yeah.
literally.
Too many
It's not
cooks in the
working.
kitchen. Too many
Dude.
cooks.
No, but I mean, look, when I get to my turn, I don't even
Yeah.
think we've gotten to half of the problems of this film. But when I get to my
Yeah.
turn, ooh,
Yeah, keep going. All I'm gonna say my turn was a trailer for everyone else's turn because that's basically what this movie was, a series of trailers. I'm sure someone will explain why that was, why it turned out to be like that, but that's what this movie felt like. It was ridiculous, and I'm going to give it probably one of my lowest reviews, I think. A 4. I think that's the lowest I've ever reviewed anything. Out of 10. Cool. That's me.
Where do I start? I watched it at the theaters.
Mm.
I honestly don't
me
know what I
too.
was expecting, to be honest with you guys. I honestly don't know what I was expecting. I hated Will Smith's character here. He was horrible. 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 It's one of the worst depictions I've seen of this guy because why are you in Rick Flagg's ear all the time? You're not the leader. Chill, dude. Be a team player. Shut the fuck up. Be a team player and let this guy lead this team. You're busy. Ajo, it's like this guy is a live commentator on everything that Rick Flag is doing. Rick Flag is barking orders. Rick, why would you do that? That makes no sense. Yo, chill, dog. Like, what is your problem? This guy is an experienced soldier. He's been doing this for years, dog. There's a reason this guy,
The movie didn't make it seem like that, dog.
there's a reason this guy has been chosen by Amanda Waller. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Sis, he was irritated. He was like a fly, dog. Like Will Smith was like a fly throughout the movie,
No,
like
but
a
hey, look.
mosquito.
To be fair, Rick Flag to me, it felt like Amanda Waller hired him because he was a gigolo to seduce Enchantress. That's what he felt like to me in this
Jesus. No,
movie.
I feel like that was also a horrible decision on their part because they needed to keep him to keep his arc interesting because he
Mm.
definitely had no arc, right?
Yeah.
So they had to give him a love interest. That was a horrible decision on their front. He should have just been a very strict leader, someone they hate but they have to work with, and that would have been enough.
Or else. Yeah, exactly.
Because you do see some scenes when they're recruiting them and all, and they're recruiting Deadshot, and tells them what he wants and whatever. It's like, my nigga, you're in no position to make any demand. Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he did give some jerk energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ijo, you don't think just because you have some power, I'm gonna be your lapdog or I'm gonna listen to you. You listen to me. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have fire projectiles or if you are a killer croc. You listen to me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just I don't know what the hell happened. And
Yeah.
okay,
That should have
anyway,
been why Slipknot died, as opposed to, oh, guys, I'm going to run away right in front of you. That should have been why Slipknot died, because he's not listening to Rick Flag, and that would have made more writing sense. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And
Yeah.
remember, he also had a separate squad of his own people that were also doing certain other missions that will
Yeah.
benefit the team regardless.
No, okay, but anyway, I'll bring it up in my turn.
But anyway, so as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, who are they gonna rescue? You know, they're on a rescue mission. Can they're rescuing Amanda Waller? I'm like, so Amanda Waller sent them so that they can rescue her? Bro,
Yeah, right.
after that, I just mentally, I was out. Like mentally, I was like, what are we doing? Like, Joe, this movie was horrible, dog. I was so disappointed. And then I watched it like a couple of years later, and I could stomach it because it sort of started making sense to me. I don't know which cut that was, but it started making a lot of sense, and I liked Rick a lot more, even though I still didn't like him as much as the Suicide Squad. But I still hated Deadshot, and I'm glad that he didn't come back. Like he was horrible. He should have just done Independence Day Resurgence because he didn't want to do that one. He decided to do this one, and
Yes. No,
I don't know why.
100%.
But also Enchantress, man, I feel like that was a missed opportunity for us to feel sorry for this character. But I feel like she became a villain way too quickly. You know what I mean? She became a villain way too quickly. for
The
us to
movie was
feel,
late for a meeting, bro.
yeah, for us to feel sorry for the actual character before the transformation. Um,
There was no time. We needed to explain
yeah, man.
Katana. She has the
Like
power to hold.
Jay Courtney is barely in this thing. He says like probably says like less than 20 lines throughout the movie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the only person it was probably Jay Hernandez, when he
Yeah.
was like, with his family and the fire and also
Yeah. He's almost an arc. Yeah.
sacrificing his life and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the only decent character here.
It's an
Everybody
arc.
else is
Yeah.
just it's just a
Also, the
nothing.
only one with powers because.
Well, Killer Croc
But anyway,
sort
I'll
of
get to it.
has
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
powers,
He's
like
just
super
a
strength.
croc.
Yeah,
mutant somewhat. Yeah.
mutant. Yeah,
But
but
also,
Same.
hmm?
did
Okay, all
anyone
right,
find
all
it
right.
weird that his powers were like an ancient Mayan god? And it's like, where did this escalated quickly? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it
Yes,
wasn't more fire. No, I turned into an ancient god that fucking
some
what?
skeleton. Yeah, like Chiefs,
That no,
pirates.
wait,
Like,
wait,
what's
wait.
going
But
on?
anyway, I'll Miss Extraordinary when you're done because I have so
Are you
many
like a
things to
Chiefs
say.
versus slash pirates thing fighting a huge ass monster? What's
Mm.
going on here? And them also trying to tie into Deadshot being the one who saves the day with his one bullet. I'm like, you guys are forcing this thing. You guys are
Mhm.
forcing this thing. There's no way. But anyway,
Hey,
I hated the crap out of this movie. It didn't stick the landing that it should have. Probably the worst film in this universe.
mhm.
I'm giving it a 5. Like it's
Ah,
horrible. It's horrible.
here we go.
All right. God.
Guns
Okay.
blazing, Baba. Let's hear.
Let's go.
First off, who decided to make this thing a music video? They're playing music every freaking 2 seconds in this film and to introduce a
Yeah.
character. Like, I heard the name. I don't need a title card. And like, what is this, Yu-Gi-Oh now? Where I have to see, oh, he's got attack power of 7. He's got 17. Shut up. Jesus. Um, Will Smith totally miscast. Also, race bent. Why? Like, just make Floyd Lawton a white dude. Like, there's so
Yeah.
many other black characters who have been on the Suicide Squad that you could have used. Bronze
Mhm.
Tiger, for example.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Dude, Jared Leto is crowbarred into the. I think even if he gave a good performance, it still would have been annoying because he was crowbarred into this thing.
Yeah.
Like you can see the story's trying to move on, and Joker is like, no, let me put my foot in this thing. Come on, I have to be part of this
Let
backstory.
me kill Como.
Ah, ah. Yeah, and then also
I'm
like they
okay
have
with
to
that.
show him, and the thing is, they're trying to make Joker unpredictable, but it's goofy and cartoony, and it's just like, all right, like you're trying to make him a mob boss, but he's like so nonsense that this doesn't make sense. Like he's not intimidating at all. Another thing is that the premise of assembling. I'm surprised none of you have said this. The premise they assembled the Suicide Squad on is Amanda Waller looked the president in the face and it's like, what if Superman went bad? We need a squad. This squad,
To do what?
this squad, a gun, a dude who can barely
A
use a
soldier.
boomerang, a crazy woman, and like a killer Croc, and the one guy who actually has powers that would do nothing to Superman. By the way,
Yep.
nothing. I don't care what Aztec god you summon.
The only
Nothing has
person
happened.
that would have done something to Superman is Enchantress. Everybody else, no.
Yeah.
No, but even
That's true.
Enchantress she got washed by this squad, bro. Like that's the other thing. She got wrecked by these people. Yeah, I don't understand why Rick Flag had 2 teams because it's like, what was the point of the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Already 6 of those guys are way more effective than Harley Quinn could ever be. Just use the
Yep.
6 guys. Why'd you take her out of prison? Enchantress is summoning her brother just to create a bunch of CGI monsters was also dumb. A lot of the lines in this is exposition upon exposition because they just have to keep explaining things like we're 6 years old. I could not stand this movie for the life of me. I didn't get it, and it was like as an experience as a whole, because even Rick Flag was just a brick to me. He was just a guy to say the orders. I didn't get his purpose as to why he was there. Ah, and again, you don't send this squad to fight supernatural, but you call Superman for the supernatural. Like, why couldn't this movie have just been this squad goes to stop Joker from detonating a bomb, and they do some bad shit in order to try and stop that? Like, imagine how cool it would have been if Deadshot blew up a building and then Rick Flag was like, "What the hell did you do in there?" Like, there were civilians and shit, and he's like, "You hired me for a job. I'm just doing my job.
They did
Like,
what you're
this is the
saying.
results."
They did what you're saying. It's one of the best Suicide Squad movies. It's a Suicide cartoon. Have you guys seen it? Where they break into Arkham and they explain why Harley's there, because Harley's like a veteran in Arkham. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes
yeah.
why she's there. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Plugging
Assault on Arkham. Yeah, Assault on
yes,
Arkham, which is what
fantastic.
this movie should have been.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, every decision in this didn't make sense. Killer Croc was one of the biggest stereotypes I've seen,
He
and
Oh my
watches
how
God.
that
MTV.
was.
He watches
Uh,
MTV. Like, yeah, gents.
I'm
and
beautiful.
dog, he speaks in catchphrases that nobody's been using since like 2006. So great job over there. And
Yeah,
also,
clearly
Killer
some
Croc also is not.
60-year-old guy wrote this movie because
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
and it's like, and wait, and Killer Croc, like, how strong is he supposed to be that he swam with a bomb underneath or whatever? It's like, if you're that strong, why don't you punch the villain? Use that strength of yours. What are you here for? Ah, and also the Deadshot stuff was just, no, just no, because really, a bullet to stop a magical being. That's what you needed. Okay.
A bullet of love. No, a bullet of love for the entire team. Like,
Ah.
Oh
all
my
in
God.
slow motion rain. Yeah, bullet
I
of
don't
love.
even
Yeah.
like it didn't feel like a director made this movie. It felt like a bunch of people who were
hmm
watching YouTube and music videos made this movie.
Which is
And
exactly what happened, but yes.
it didn't make sense. Like, and I liked the trailer. I thought the trailer was well cut, but
Yeah. Because the
no.
guys who made the trailer are the guys that made the movie. I'm expecting Smilo to actually say this, but you guys know
No,
that,
no,
right?
no, no, no. They know it. They know it, brother. I'm keeping quiet on this one. You see, this one,
Also, like,
I'm mute.
what makes you think that you can fight Batman in front of your daughter and win? What makes
No,
you
and this
think?
is the thing that also retroactively made Batman versus Superman worse. I'm like, how are any of these people alive? If Batman is perfectly fine with mowing down criminals, how are you going to take that same Batman and make him save Harley Quinn at the bottom of the ocean?
Yep. It just
At
doesn't
the
make
bottom of the ocean after she tried to. I was like, that is some plot armor for your ass, because there's no way you can kill 50,000 henchmen and look at Harley Quinn, the associate of the Joker, and be like, I've got to pull her out of this ravine. After they put themselves in there. Like, if
yeah.
Batman just walked away and they died, it would not even be his fault. It would be
Yeah.
the fault of
Yes.
Joker and.
Yeah.
And
Makes
and
no
and weren't
Oh
they
my.
sense.
trying to get rid of Batman in the first place for them to actually eventually end up at the bottom of
Yeah.
the ocean?
No, and then on top of that, you said that this Batman is supposed to be in his career 20 years. Both Joker and Harley Quinn look new. They look like they just started doing this
They
stuff.
look like what's that Afrikaner band? The Antwoord.
Yeah, the Antwoord.
Oh yes.
Oh my
Turns out he's
goodness.
been
Yeah,
fighting Black
it's the
Mask this whole
Antwoord
time,
light
I
in
guess.
here. No, this one is a straight up two. I
Damn!
was pissed that I
Finally.
Jesus!
paid.
Comes
I
with a
was pissed that I
vengeance.
paid for this freaking movie.
Damn! Yo,
It
did you
was
watch this at
free
the
and I still
theaters?
think I paid too much.
Yes, I went to the theaters.
Hot damn. I'm so sorry for your wallet, man.
Yo, I
That's a
don't even know
micro.
why, because I wasn't even like enamored by the idea, but I was like, I like superhero movies.
I feel you,
Okay.
man. All right, here we go.
Oh, gents. Yeah, this one, yeah. The former version of me, all young, all naive, thinking, Snyder, DC, you are saved from the anime to this. They afford Will Smith, Amanda Waller, which now is not just a normal Amanda Waller, it's the actor.
Yeah, Viola
Yeah.
Davis. Because remember, they
The
already had
Viola.
Amanda Waller in Green Lantern with Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now from that to this, I'm taking it from a production standpoint, and then yes, yes, count these actors. These are all A-listers. How the heck are they gonna, get enough, screen time? How's the plot gonna interweave between everyone? How's it gonna link to Batman vs Superman events and also jump to Justice League? I'm that guy, and then yeah, gents, within I think an hour. Yeah, let me see. I'm flabbergasted. Like, wow, we're watching a music video edit rendition of DC. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
But remember, I'm a geek. I need to sell people on DC. Nah, dog, give it a chance. We're gonna get an extended cut. And that's how I got the nickname. The extended cut guy. And yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's when my reputation tanked. Mr. Zack Snyder, no, dog. Ish. I'll Google this for you next time and then, oh gosh. Oh, yeah, it is true.
And here's the
David
thing,
Ayer.
yeah, no, I was
No,
gonna say,
no, yeah.
it's so funny with what you're saying, right? I actually, when it comes to the hype for it, I would have defended David Ayer with my life because I like Brightburn. I mean, not Brightburn,
Bright.
Bright.
Oh, you nearly gave me a
There you go.
fright. Whoo,
Bright. I
whoo,
like
brother.
Bright. I
Okay.
defend Will Smith in that role, and I liked the one he did with Shia LaBeouf and the Army of the War one.
Fury.
Fury.
And this
Love
came
him.
out 2 years after Fury. Fury is the film that got him this gig, apparently.
Yes. And then he does
And
this. Yeah.
apparently,
No,
according
he
to
didn't do this. This does not feel like a director. This
Yeah, I
feels
don't
like
know.
a
I
bunch
don't know
of
if you
people in
guys
the
have
studio.
seen the podcast episode with him and John Bernthal when he's explaining what happened to the Suicide Squad.
it was
Bruh,
a
he didn't have a lot of control over this project.
No, this was directed by a DJ. Nah, 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 nah. Yes.
So now imagine for a guy having done Fury, seeing, the theme, the tones of war, and now having to jump to a DC project of anti-heroes. And all of them are supposed to sort of like weave a story post Batman vs Superman and make us audiences care for them. And then we got what we got. And then a couple of weeks later, we're getting a music video featuring Rick Ross, and then we're seeing scenes of Jared Leto. I was like, "Modimo wa kgotso." Yeah, this is cooked. We done. And
Yeah.
apparently, that music video was the most successful song and
Mhm.
music video launch tying
Yeah.
into film. So it's like
Yeah.
they have the incredible ingredients, except someone was, moving the entire stakes to say, nah, dog, this is too dark. Change to this, change to this. And then
Yeah,
they
because
had
they
the
had
gala
multiple
decency.
reshoots. I remember they had
You know what
Dude,
it
and
feels
multiple.
then
like? Yeah.
mhm,
You know what it feels like? It feels like someone said, I want to got myself a T-bone steak with all the toppings, and I got myself the vegetables, the chips, the onion rings, and then I got a bone. Not no meat, just a
Mhm.
bone.
Yeah.
And that's what that feels like. That's
I don't
what
know
this
if you
movie
guys
is.
remember, they did a reshoot a few weeks just before this movie came out.
I think it was 3 weeks before. That's
Yeah,
how things bad were.
that's
Three
how
weeks
bad it
before
was.
the literal
Yeah,
premiere.
yeah.
Mm.
And
Also,
you
I
can
think this
imagine.
one
Mhm.
has. I think Suicide Squad has the worst villain in the DCU ever.
Ooh.
Enchantress is nothing.
Oh, less than nothing.
Mm.
I feel bad for the actress. I mean, she's like a model
Bruh,
first,
she
but
even
still.
Cara
apologized.
Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne. She
Cara
even
Delevingne,
apologized
yes.
for it.
No,
Yeah.
Carla Delevingne, why are you taking that on
Yeah,
for
why are you
yourself?
taking
That was
heat?
the writers,
Yeah,
the directors, and the
No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no,
executives. You don't
no.
apologize
David
for
Ayer.
nothing.
No, no, Chance, remember. David Ayer, director of Fury. The guy that
Yes.
wrote Fast and Furious. The guy that did
Yeah,
Training Day. Come on,
yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
Come
Yes.
on.
Someone told her to do this.
Bruh, the entire time
Someone.
I was like, what are you doing? What is this
Okay,
cock
guys, but
blocking
also
in front of everyone?
in her defense,
Yes.
Elizabeth Olsen was doing this. What the hell was that?
Thank you. Thank you.
No,
Come on,
Born,
G.
Thank you.
ne?
Nah,
And we
guys,
Born.
come
sold
on.
it. We're
Elizabeth
sold on
Olsen
it.
doing
Thank
this,
you.
at least there's powers happening.
Jazz
Nothing
hands.
was happening when she was break dancing here. Yeah, it was like, what is she, Fat Man Scoop in the background?
And and now then, gents, imagine
Enchantress, suicide, suicide. Okay.
the movie. Okay, as fans, we cooked ratings. I think it's the first DC film now to say, critics, in as much as they ham-fisted the idea of Zack Snyder leading the entire franchise, and now it's this.
Mm.
To now a case of, on one hand, it's making the most amount of money, 700 and something million in less than 3 months. That was unheard of in
Yeah.
2016.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, critically, the film is a complete dud. And mind you, months prior, we had Deadpool. Months prior, for
Yeah.
an R-rating film, we had
Oh,
Deadpool, and we're
Yes,
getting
and it
this.
broke
Fuck
records
out.
as well because
yes.
it
Thank
it
you.
broke was this Passion of the Christ record
Literally.
at the
So you
time.
could tell that, look, okay, in as much as I'm trying to sell DC, I'm fine, I'm not winning. And for that, I'm now suffering being called the Zack Snyder guy. And
Hey,
for the
dog.
sake of me wanting to see Justice League, I'll panda and share my panda to one of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I pandaed. So I had to panda, and then at that time I gave it a 6. And then at a later stage, I was like, okay, dude, what the heck is happening? It's a 5.
Okay.
All
It's a
right.
5, 5 out of 10. It's a 5. And then the extended cut came. I was excited only to find it's about 6 minutes of footage of literal
Of Joker.
exposition.
Yeah.
Exposition, mind you,
hmm
exposition, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's an extended cut. That's when I knew,
Explaining
okay,
more. Yeah.
gents,
The only
it's done.
thing
We
I
done.
was excited about when I watched this movie, it was not even Margot Robbie changing in front of everybody. It was Ben Affleck actually threatening Amanda Waller.
The
No,
ending,
and
the
Amanda Waller
ending
also
of
was just
Suicide Squad.
nonsensical, though. She was so nonsensical because, like, how you want to let Batman, the guy who's connected to the guy you're supposedly prepping for, know that you know everything about him? And also, Batman, why are you just meeting Amanda Waller in the
As
like?
Bruce.
What is this universe?
Dog, like
Yeah.
in this universe, Bruce is not hiding that he's Batman at all. Like,
Which
Yeah,
makes no sense. It makes
20
no
years of
sense.
fighting crime. 20 years of fighting crime, of that
Like you're
democracy
supposed to
of
be a
the war
veteran
of
at
itself.
this.
He's revealed himself to certain people, and it so happens that Amanda Waller knows. So
yeah,
also on
Amanda
the anime,
Waller,
remember
yeah,
they are
yeah.
friends. I'm not sure if you guys literally had finished the entire Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. They're literal friends, but due
Yes,
to
they are.
choosing different parts of life, it was a case of, look, you don't have with me, I don't have with you.
Hmm.
However, come a call and please call, you should come. And that's what we saw. So now again, this is from an enthusiast point of view. Whereas for general, they know nothing about this. And
Okay,
to them, it's like, how? They meeting without him wearing a cowl. How is this making sense?
fair
Ah,
enough.
Mr. Zack
And
And
also,
Snyder will explain. Oh,
fair
and
enough.
also, shouldn't
In
there be a
Justice
vision?
League, in Justice League, he recruits Aquaman as Bruce Wayne in front of people,
in
dog.
front, in
Yeah.
front. Thank you.
No, and also Aquaman literally also calls him Bruce Wayne Batman in front of people
In
as
front
well.
of
It's not like,
people.
hey, this is my friend Joe
And
Bob
what
or whatever.
research did Aquaman do? In the underwater with a fucking black label. What are you talking
Okay, well
about?
that's for the next
Oh, okay.
7 Up when we cover the next set of movies,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah, look, hey, DCEU, yo, Mudim.
All the ingredients of this
Yeah.
being the omega to the alpha at that time, which is Marvel. However, hey, the cooks in the kitchen, we having Iwisa and what White Star all
Yeah.
fighting for the same crop, and they're both
And a
whites,
bit
mind you.
of
So,
and a bit of
ish.
Tafelberg in there.
Oh,
Why
ish.
would you include
Nice.
the Suicide Squad after Dawn of Justice?
Yeah. What
Dude.
No,
movies
why
are you
would you
supposed to do?
do Dawn of Justice after your first solo Superman film?
Yeah. How is
I'm
the
just
Dead
like,
number 2?
yeah, like I'm just like executives just never make sense to me. I'm just like the thing is, Nick, it's not that nerds don't know what we're talking about. We do.
Mm.
Like we
Yeah.
know this stuff. Like, and I know, like, and also as a person who's becoming a writer myself, I know what to take out and what to include. Like, for example, Man of Steel, you know who the villain would have been? Parasite. Want to know why? Parasite is not bombastic like Zod and all of them. He's plenty creepy and scary, and you could have made him an experiment of Lex Luthor's, tying Lex Luthor into the verse already, and then getting ready for a Man of Steel 2. It would have been that simple. But
James
no, we
Gunn
gotta go for
Superman.
the biggest thing ever in the first movie. That doesn't work.
Hence, now we have James Gunn Superman. Exactly what you said. James Gunn Superman. So yes, I'm waiting your
No, but
ticket, my brother.
James Gunn is kind of also making that same mistake, in my opinion. It's too
Dog, decide
much.
that 160 for the ticket and enjoy a different alternative, kiddies happy, hopeful
Yeah.
side
Yep.
of DC for the
I
Have you
first
seen
time.
the
will. Okay,
clips of all the
I'll
guys
come back to
horror
you on that
farming?
one.
Have you seen? Yeah, James Gunn is clearly going in the opposite direction. All the characters are aura farming. They're clearly having a good time.
Dude. So
So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. But also, before we close it, James Gunn has just decided that everything that he's worked on from the DCEU is canon in this world.
yeah,
So,
yes.
Which
Peacemaker
is
is somehow still canon.
insanity. Which is insanity. That's like, bro, you cannot start mixing and meshing live action and the cartoon.
yeah,
It's
then why
not
don't
gonna
you
work.
include Blue Beetle in this universe? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Where's Jaime Reyes?
No,
Yeah.
but I'm saying here's the thing. Like when you take Superman or you take Batman to a cartoon and he does something that's literally physically impossible for you to do in a movie, even with all the CGI in the world. Now everybody as a viewer is gonna be like, but why could he do that here?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Hence, it's my mandate to say let's sort of like do our own interpretation of the DCEU Bible. Let's watch the entire DCAU animated universe. And yeah, let's meet again. Hence, that's my proposal of us as fans following the comics, well, seeing things borrowed from the comics and then taking them for what they are. Outside of Mutoro Totsingwa DCEU banner. Please. Please.
No, I know that's gonna be the next one. But hey, I want to say thank you so much for checking out this video. What was your favorite DCEU movie? Let us know in the comment section down below. Were you a DCEU fan? Yeah, talk to us. Are you a Zack Snyder defender or all of that stuff and everything? Yeah, no, I mean you're still out there. The Snyder cut or the Snyderverse or the Snyder fans, they're still out there. They're still
Look, there's
campaigning.
gonna be someone who's
So
gonna defend the Suicide Squad. They're gonna be pissed
Yeah.
that we gave it those ratings that we gave
Hey,
it.
dog.
oh, please come at me, bro. Please. I apologize for nothing.
Hey, this
Yo, 2 hours and 140 rand gone for nothing. But
Oh.
That's that 4DX.
yo,
Yo. Yo.
To make Will Smith a flipping mosquito in that thing. Jesus Christ.
Oh gosh.
I would have killed him myself, dog. If I was
You were
Rick
angry.
Flag.
Extra did. You were angry. You needed to go to church, bruh.
Ah,
You wanna
dog, I
No
would have
amount
killed
of
him
master
myself.
would save him, eh? No amount of yelling master would help.
Nah,
Master.
fam.
Ah.
oh, don't remind me of Martha. Oh my God. Anyway,
Thank you.
look.
Nsekrapela that you don't even mention anything about Martha. Now you bring it up. Gents, thanks for watching on the third extended cut. Have a good night.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I just gotta do the things. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow everybody that's on this panel and all of that good stuff. The links in the description down below. Again, let us know your thoughts of the DCEU and let us know if you think our ratings were fair or unfair and all of that good stuff. And we'll see you in other videos because African Frame has to be out for now. All right, everybody? Peace.
Peace.